Charlie Kirk smokes a nose-pierced leftist as they talk about the merits of democracy, or as I like to accurately describe it, mob rule. Guys, this is going to be a good one, and I know you're going to like it, okay? It's always fun seeing this debate about democracy. For some reason, there's this false consensus in our country that democracy is some kind of American virtue and moral right that everybody has to support and aspire to, no matter what. Newsflash, that's hogwash, as I'm sure many of you know, because you guys are all brilliant. So we're gonna get right into the video, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, yes, you already know where it's going. Please be sure to like our video, share it around, and yes, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. That way, we can keep bringing you guys these great clips, guys, whether it's Charlie Kirk smoking a liberal, Bill Maher having a Trump derangement syndrome meltdown. There is something that is sure to entertain. So make sure you subscribe and keep on coming back.
Do you view democracy as an American value, something that's very important to the fabric of this country?
No. Where is democracy in the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, okay. So are you...
No, hold on. Where is the word democracy?
I don't think the word democracy is in the Constitution.
So where is the word democracy in any of the founding fathers?
A lot of the founding fathers had extremely elitist viewpoints around who should...
Hold on. I just want to... You said the word democracy, so I want to get back to our roots.
Yes.
Where is democracy mentioned? In the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, or the Declaration?
I think it's good that this country has moved away from things that were
So
explicitly believed by the founding
in the Federalist
fathers.
Papers, and it's mentioned negatively as a problem. So you asked me, is democracy a fundamental American value? I say no.
Okay.
Because I go back to our roots. And
do you,
Hamilton, Madison, and Jay...
Oh, I know that Hamilton was anti-democracy.
No, well, hold on,
these people thought that people should be owned as
I want to be
property.
clear. I am pro-representative government,
okay,
but I'm not pro-democracy. That's a big difference, and that distinction's important. But you asked very specifically about democracy, which is not an American value. It never has been and never should be, because what is democracy? Democracy is majority rule no matter what. That there's no provisions of checks and balances, no inalienable rights, no separation of powers, pure if the majority gets it, the majority wants it as quickly as possible.
I don't advocate pure democracy. I do understand that we live in a representative, like we live in a republic,
so
and I understand
representative
these things.
government.
Okay.
And you might say,
there's a real simple way to look at the whole democracy question. If 50% of the country plus one person votes to abolish the Second Amendment, heck, even the First Amendment, does that mean it's okay? Well, hey, it's democracy. They voted for it after all. It was the majority. Therefore, it's correct. No, of course not. No serious person would argue that. Although, let's be honest, if the Democrats did have a ballot referendum on the Second Amendment, we all know how they'd vote.
I'm splitting hairs on words, but I'm not.
Well, just coming from a place where on some level we have a level of democracy in this country and people vote and it is part of their civic duty to vote.
Sure.
Yes. Do you not think it is in the greater interest of this country at large that its citizens are as educated as possible to therefore be able to participate in that system?
I think they should be as wise as possible. And I don't think that education and wisdom are the same thing.
Yeah,
in fact,
I understand.
I think college disincentivizes the cultivation of wisdom.
In the age where, like, there is such a hypersaturation of, and we've seen this, like, extremely polarizing, different, like people are getting their news from wildly different sources.
Yes.
People just don't interact with the other side at all. Do you think that being an autodidact, in any sense of the term, is going to give you a thorough and rigorous education if you are, like, so likely to end up sucked into these holes where you're never interacting with people who have...
That's not my only form of learning. I meet a lot of cool people.
That's literally what college is. And it's always one viewpoint being pushed, because a student is constantly afraid that a professor is going to give them a bad grade on an assignment, fail them in the class, and sometimes worse. So that's what college is. If you want diverse viewpoints, try just exploring real life. Maybe not corporate America, because that's essentially college, but, you know, with money at this point. But try interacting with regular, everyday Americans, and then you'll see some diverse viewpoints.
I meet a lot of cool people. I learn from people like you and others. I mean, I'm listening when you're talking. It's not just a shtick. You haven't won me over on any of it, but you had an opportunity to. But I'm glad you attempted to. But yeah, I mean, you learn in other ways other than just sitting in a classroom, listening to a professor drone on for 90 minutes and pretending to read his book and paying $20,000 a semester to cheat on the exam at the end of the semester.
I think college is what you make of it. I
agree. So
people, people are selling themselves short on their education if they don't.
You can listen to as many podcasts as you want. You can meet interesting people. And
academia does have like an actual level of like You have to prove that you're worth your salt, at least to have peer-reviewed papers published,
No, I mean, yeah,
which
if
you
you get
don't
a
have
P-
to do to start a podcast.
If you get a PhD, yes, but hold on. So is your contention that I'm not informed or not worldly or not wise? I want to be clear.
I'm not making any claims about your specific level of being informed. I'm
Okay.
saying the general rhetoric on the right against education, against higher education
Well, hold on.
specifically.
Why do you think it is? Is it because you think we hate smart people, or is it that there's something happening here that we really think is troubling?
I think it's much easier to control people who are less educated.
See, now you're a conspiracy theorist. So, no, it's...
Anti-intellectualism is a hallmark of fascism.
Do you think we're again?
There's that favorite buzzword of theirs. Can't help but notice. As far as easier to be in control goes, I have no idea what she's talking about. It's real simple. Ask a plumber and a Harvard graduate, how many genders are there? All right, you tell me who the brainwashed fool is. I don't think I need to explain that further. Just think critically about this. When we have Fortune 500 American corporations peddling their propaganda, you think they'd rather have some kind of consultant Harvard graduate or a plumber to push their agenda? It's pretty obvious. And I know people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, the consultant has skills that the plumber doesn't. That's what it is. No, they don't. Sorry, it's just, no, that's not the case.
Against higher education because it largely has created an ungrateful, unprepared generation that goes into the American body politic and does not share the core American values of freedom of speech, gratitude for our founding, consent of the governed. In fact, it's hyper radical. And it's against our traditions, our norms, and our customs, and it's created massive fissures. We call that the woke mind virus, if you will.
Okay, that makes...
It's not because people are easier to control. In fact, we love learning. I learn every day. In fact, that's why I'm pro Hillsdale College, where it's probably one of the hardest colleges in the country to get into and graduate from. The problem is that when you are learning largely trash and crap, and you're not going in the pursuit of truth, beauty, or goodness, and you're not trying to inculcate wisdom or good character,
There's no oversight on online political punditry to make sure that you're in pursuit of wisdom and goodness.
No, of course there's
you
not.
directly profit from propagating viewpoints that are more polarizing and that suck people deeper into more conspiratorial thinking.
Hold on. So what you're doing is
Yeah, that's actually not necessarily true. Did she forget that big tech regularly censors people who espouse viewpoints that they don't like? Things that come to mind: challenging the COVID narrative, questioning the 2020 election, saying certain things about genders and the reality behind them and what men and women are. I could go on and on. So yes, there is a regulator of that information, but perhaps not in the good way that she's trying to suggest that there is.
Actually insulting the audience, not me. Because the vast majority of this audience actually enjoys watching my videos, and they enjoy hearing from me.
I never said your audience didn't enjoy watching your videos.
Because you say I'm profiting. The way
you do profit, you financially, you make a ton of money from getting more clicks.
The audience rewards me because they find that I bring some value.
Well, I don't
and that they
necessarily
learn
think
something from
that
me.
whatever gets the most eyes on a specific...
But it's easy to attack me as exploitation. What I say is actually very popular and resonates with people. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A final point to think about real quick. You ever hear leftists complain about the Electoral College? This nonstop bitching about how it subverts democracy and it's so evil and morally wrong. One of the most popular talking points you'll often hear is, a Wyomingite has 3.6 times the voting power of one Californian. That's horrible. And my response to that is very simple. Yes, that's the point. And by the way, let's stop this dishonest argument here that people in blue states are so underrepresented because of the Electoral College. Just look at this California-Wyoming example. The big blue state has 55 electoral votes, whereas Wyoming only has 3. That's right, 3. Yet, apparently, that's too much. Can't give those flyover people any more voting power. That would be terrible. With all that being said, guys, really hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked, what you want to see next, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks so much, and God bless.